Deen TV! Sponsors.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back in. You're listening to Think About It with your host Joshua Salaam, all brought to you by pennypilusa.org. I hope you've been enjoying these episodes. I'm going to bring you another amazing guest. In fact, today we're bringing two amazing guests. Don't go nowhere. You'll find out all about it. We'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for tuning back in. Because I have two amazing guests today, we just took out the monologue completely. So I'm just getting right into it with my guest in the studio on the show called Think About It, brought to you by pennypilusa.org. It is Sister Hasna Rizwan. Give it up for her, and the studio audience can clap too. It is just, we got people in here. She came with a supporting cast. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Now, I was reading over some of the stuff about you. And believe it or not, you remind me of a female Dr. Alvey. I had a guest on the show yesterday, Dr. Alvey, and he talked about how he got started very young. He was ahead of his class, and he became a doctor, full-fledged practicing doctor before the age of 20 and all of that. And I'm reading all these things about you. I'm like, what? She did this at 6. She did that at 8, 14. How did you are having all these accomplishments at a young age? So tell me about some of them. What was happening when you were 6 years old?
I think it definitely started with my parents teaching me about the Quran and Islamic studies. That was definitely my drive for my future endeavors. By the age of 6, I finished the Quran at my home. And then I was homeschooled all my life. And then by about 13, I started getting engaged in library activities.
What age is this now?
By 13, 12, 13.
So what kind of library activities were you getting engaged in? What do you remember?
I volunteered with a lot of programs with children. So I did reading buddies. There was like science programs for children. So I would help with those. Definitely the science ones more interested me the most, because since I was little, I've always wanted to become a doctor.
I knew it. I knew it. See, I told you guys, this is a young up and coming, not just doctor, but you're like, I think you're going to be like one of those, they call them agents of change, right? I think you're going to have a big role in the world to come, or maybe even the world now, in changing things. Because I'm imagining you sitting in the library at the age of 13 with these books, reading to children.
Yes.
Wow. And you got like joy, love out of that. That was just, you weren't forced into it. This is something you wanted to do.
No, but since I was little, I was always doing my own research on the internet, looking for opportunities where I could work with children or volunteer in any way with my community. And then after about a year or two with volunteering, I started getting engaged with more special needs programs.
Okay.
And they don't normally have volunteers for those programs.
Now this is still at the library, or are you going to?
Yes, still at the library.
Okay.
They don't normally take volunteers for those programs, but I asked if it's possible for me to help out in any way. So from then on, I was more active with a lot of the programs for children with disabilities. And then I ended up actually volunteering at a school for disabilities.
Here in Virginia?
Here in Virginia,
okay.
Yes. In Leesburg. I volunteered with a school there for about maybe one semester.
How old are you now?
I am 18 now.
No, not now, but like when
At
you started,
time,
when you started volunteering at schools.
I was maybe 13.
You're still 13. Now you're going from libraries, excuse me. I wasn't homeschooled, chasing public school education. So you're volunteering in libraries, and now you're going into public schools as a volunteer with special needs students?
Yes, it was a private school for specifically for students with autism spectrum disorders. So alhamdulillah, I was able to volunteer with them for about like one season, from like September to January almost. And then after that, I realized that not many people were aware of disabilities like autism. So I decided that since I already had a lot of connections in the library, that I could introduce us to the community on the study of neuroscience and the brain.
Wait, hold on. So slow down, sister, slow down. 13 years old, helping out at a private school. and you came to the realization that not a lot of people are aware of this autism. So it just came to you that you're going to try to create awareness for, what did you say,
For neuroscience, the study of the brain.
The study of neuroscience. Am I the only one that's going like, what? Okay, continue.
So I brought it up with one of the librarians there, and she was really interested in it. So we did some research, and we found that a lot of professors and research students around the world at their universities and research centers conducted events annually in March for brain awareness. And they would bring activities, speakers, different presentations for the general community, so that people would become more aware of neuroscience, neuroscience research, diseases, conditions. And so I was able to host the first event, and I think that was back in 2013.
You hosted the first event?
Yes.
What does that look like? So you're up on stage, you know, welcoming people to the first ever such at the age of 14?
Yes.
Or were you still 13?
I believe I was 14 by then. I think 13 or 14. It was 2 years. I did it for 2 years.
MashaAllah.
And alhamdulillah, the first event we had over 100 people who came out.
Wow.
We reached out to a lot of organizations. Inova Hospital. We had different private organizations that work with disability awareness, and we had presentations from researchers and doctors and scientists.
Wow.
And it really got the community engaged. So that really excited me a lot, because I saw that, well, so many kids are coming out, so now they'll be more aware, and they'll tell their friends about, you know, that it's a need, it's a cause.
You know, something's coming to my mind now. You have to confirm or deny this for me. I remember many years ago, there was this young lady that came up with this cool thing at Adams Center. It was a skull cap, almost like this kufi that I have on, right? And you put it on your head, and then it had a drawing of the brain and told you what this part of the brain was. Was that you?
If it was in Saturday school, that was me.
I think so. And everybody was wearing it and putting it on. So you were not only doing these big conferences where scientists and doctors are coming doing presentations, but you're also doing like small practical things that youth would think were cool and could engage in.
Right, around the same time I was actually attending Saturday school, and I started the Brain Club at Saturday school.
Right.
And so the whole class was able to put together a video that we submitted to a competition, and we did it on Alzheimer's disease. So that was one aspect of the awareness, was bringing it to the Adams Center and among the Muslim youth, so that they also would be given the chance to learn about it as well.
I remember that, yeah.
So that's what I did for about 2 years, and I was able to present about the event at the Society for Neuroscience conference. I was able to go for 2 years.
Where was this at?
In DC.
Okay.
Yes.
So you did something in DC for 2 years. What was it called? The Society?
So the Society for Neuroscience conference, it happens every year. It sort of rotates from different states.
Are you 15 yet?
I
Please tell me you're 15.
I was around 14. By then I was 14. I'm pretty sure it was 2014 by then.
Wow.
And I had a poster there. And it was really great for me, because I was able to be around scientists and professors and graduate students who were there for lectures, and a lot of them brought their own posters about how they made efforts in their community. So it inspired me and pushed me more, hearing them talk about how they started their events, and hearing them talk about their careers as well. So that was pretty much by 2015. I had finished the second event, and by then I had started college.
This is definitely another. See, Dr. Alvey was, you know, he said he was back in the 60s doing all this thing. This is a 2018. This sister is just doing things. By the age of 15, she's having all these conferences. And so you're telling me that you started college at the age of 15?
Yes, when I was 15.
Can you do that? You can do that?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'm just confirming all these things so I don't feel as bad myself. You know? I'm like, please tell me you were at least 15 and 16. So you started college where? Where'd you start at?
I started at Nova in Loudoun. I started there. I remember reading online that they accept students when they're 16 for dual enrollment. But I figured might as well just give them a call and see what they say. And they were like, as long as you pass the placement exam, you can get in. So
wow.
I was able to get in when I was 15.
And now you did 2 years there?
Yes, I finished my associate's degree.
And so finishing an associate's at 17.
I finished, yes.
And now you transferred to George Washington University in Washington, D.C., and you're like a 4.0 student. And what are you studying? Let me guess. Some type of neuroscience, medical conglomeration. What are you studying?
I'm pre-med, so my current major is medical laboratory sciences. And then, inshallah, I plan to go to medical school afterwards.
Wow. No, inshallah, I can see you going on and doing everything. And you have this whole other side of you, too. So that's you know, your track of, you know, kind of starting these things with, you know, being so excited about science and the brain and autism, and you were volunteering, and now you started college early and going that medical track. But you have this other side of, like, you can get up in front of an audience and you can host. And you even, didn't you host a show, like was it Teen Summit or something like that?
Teen Zone.
Teen Zone on Islamic Broadcasting Network at the age of what? When did you do that?
I think that was 14, maybe 13, 14, between there.
Those were the golden years. So tell me about that show.
So we started the show with a couple of youth that I had grown up with in Sunday school. And we got together and we had a little talk show for a little bit. And we had different episodes discussing Islamic topics that were relevant to youth. We discussed topics like friendship and bullying. We discussed wearing hijab, different topics that we thought were relevant to youth. And we did that for about a year.
Wow. Was it like a weekly thing or something?
Yes, so I think we got together on Saturdays. Every Saturday, we all got together at the producer's house, and we would all film together for 3 or 4 hours. And then we'd come back the next Saturday and keep working on it.
Okay. So where do you see yourself in, like, you graduate George Washington, inshallah. You finish medical school, flying colors, inshallah. You do your residency. You're now full-fledged, going to a hospital, maybe as a doctor. Maybe you're going to do something else. What do you see yourself, you know, long term? Because you have this. You have this drive in you. You don't let what's in front of you, like, be a closed door. You're like, oh, you have to be 16? Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So, you know, I'm 15, and so you're challenging the system. You're doing things. What do you see yourself doing in the long term?
I really want to open my own practice, inshallah. Hopefully, a neurology clinic.
What kind of clinic?
Neurology.
Neurology clinic.
Yes, inshallah.
I knew it was coming.
And apart from that, I really want to have the ability to have my own clinic so that I can bring in sisters who are in the community, and brothers as well, who are interested in the medical science, so that they have the opportunity to work alongside a doctor for interns, so that they can be hands-on with me, so that they can learn, and so that they can be inspired, because sometimes they don't get that. They don't see other Muslim doctors, maybe.
Right.
So giving them the opportunity to come in hands-on once a week and learn. So that's one aspect of what I want to have in my clinic. And at the same time, getting more engaged in free clinics and being able to. So
you're going to watch the episode from yesterday where we were talking about, you know, starting a free health clinic, and I can put you in touch with Dr. Alvi so you can learn more about how to start that. That's cool.
Be great.
So some of the stuff that you want to do in your practice, is it from your experience of, you know, I want to make sure that people, you know, have access to these doctors and work with them because that's what I wanted, or that's what I didn't get when I was younger? And are you trying to fill the gap from what you saw were opportunities that you didn't have, and you want to make sure that you provide them for the next generation? Or?
Alhamdulillah, right now I'm able to intern at 2 doctors' offices.
Okay.
And
right. 2 doctors, not 1.
Yes. So it's a really good experience for me because I get to see the doctors firsthand and see how they work with their patients, how they work administrative and on administration side as well. And I definitely want to be able to open opportunities for a lot of Muslim sisters, because in a lot of the places I'm the only pre-med Muslim sister intern, Muslim female intern, and giving opportunities for girls to see female doctors as well, I think will inspire them, and you know, they can ask any questions. They can feel free to ask about how it was to enter medical school, how it was to take exams, and I think it'll help them.
There's something about seeing somebody like you doing something that makes it very real. That says, oh well, if she can do it and she's Muslim and she's only 14, and you know, I can do it. So what's your message? We only have a little bit of time left. I want you to give a message to the world of, you know, you did all of this stuff at a young age. You were 13, you were 14, you were 15, you're graduating college. What's something that you can tell other young ladies out there who might be thinking, I can't do it at 13, I'm still, you know, I can't do that. How would you inspire them to give them the confidence that they can do it?
Definitely, it all begins with your faith. It all begins with your with your Islam from the very beginning. Having that balance in your life with Quran and taking classes at your local Islamic center, that's your drive at the end of the day. Without that, you don't have that feeling of a higher purpose to everything you're doing. If you have worldly purposes and that you just want to become a doctor for no other reason, then that won't push you enough. But having the belief that what you're doing will influence people in your community, will help people in need, will help students who are also interested in doing the same thing, and will help you yourself in the akhirah, that's the actual drive for success.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And don't go nowhere. The show's not over. This is just half of the treasure today. She has a sister that is in studio. We're bringing her up for the next segment. We're not going anywhere. This is Think About It with Joshua Salaam. I'm your host. This is all brought to you by pennyapillusa.org. Thank you so much for coming in. And if I ever get sick, you know, if I get sick in the head, I'm coming to this specialist neurosurgeon, scientist, doctor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. Assalamu alaikum, guys. We'll be right back.
Since August 25th of this year, over 600,000 individuals have fled from Myanmar into bordering Bangladesh. They've witnessed crimes against humanity. The United Nations calls what happened in Myanmar textbook definition of genocide, textbook definition of ethnic cleansing. We've been here for the last few months, providing them with access to clean drinking water, providing them with access to primary healthcare services, helping them build their shelters, as well as giving them weekly food distributions. We can't fathom what they've witnessed. The ones that have arrived into Bangladesh are the lucky ones. They're now residing in between the 22 to 25 official refugee camps that have now been established. With your continued support, we want to secure their future. We want to stay for the foreseeable future so that we can dig more water wells, so that we can provide them with more medication and more medical advice, so that we can help build more shelters, especially with the winter coming and the cold setting in. Please visit our website to find out more about our work and to support us with your generous donations. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. You are watching Think About It with Joshua Salaam. I'm your host. This is the second segment of the sister duo. This is all brought to you by pennyapillusa.org. Small change, big difference. I'm here with Hamna Rizwan. She's an amazing guest. Give her a round of applause. We got the studio audience today. Thank you very much. So, you know, if you watched some of the previous segments, I made a statement, and it was because of that statement that I said I have to bring on somebody like you. And the statement that I made was that I felt like, I think it was after we had the episode with Dr. Zainab Alwani. She's a female scholar in the community, and I was like, we need to promote female scholarship. And not only that, we need to promote females who, whatever they do, if they're memorizing the Quran or whatever, because so often at Muslim events, you go to it and they have the guy reciting the Quran.
Exactly.
They open up the program with the Quran, and then if they have a sister, the sister comes up and she reads the translation, right? But oftentimes, the sister might have a better recitation than the guy. And so I said, so I was like promoting it, and I'm just talking. And then I thought about it, I was like, man, well, all I've had on my show was like Burhan and Keba and Abdullah. Where's the sister that I brought onto my own show? And so we put the word out, And that's how we got to you. And thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. So I want you to tell me, I always like to start from the beginning. Like, when did you start your journey to memorize the Quran? I know you're still on the journey, and inshallah you'll finish it in the coming time here. But when did it start?
I would honestly say that my love for the Quran and for teaching it is something inherited. So my family members in the past, my grandparents, great-grandparents, their parents were all imams, and they were all scholars.
Really?
Yeah, of
you
their
went
own
all the way up
towns.
to great-grandparents?
They were, yes,
Wow.
and teachers in their own towns.
Mm-hmm.
Alhamdulillah, to this day, my grandmother, she actually still teaches Quran in her own house.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, that's the interesting way that you answered the question. I asked you a question about when did your journey begin? And did you hear her answer, ladies and gentlemen? She said, my love for the Quran began. And why did you tell us about why it starts with the love of the Quran before like the journey to memorize the Quran?
Definitely. It starts with the love because honestly there are two types of students. There are the students who recite and memorize because they're forced to, or they don't have it in their heart yet. And there are students who start because they feel they actually want to learn, and they go through the meaning first, and then they decide, okay, I want to start my journey now. I want to finish the whole Quran, or whatever their goal might be. So definitely for me, it really started when I was very young, around 5 or 6, when I finished reading the Quran with my father. So that's where it sort of started. Like a lot of Quran students, it started at home. And from there, I took many classes at the Adam Center, on Sunday school, different days throughout the week, just memorizing the Quran and really going through the meaning as well. My mom was always playing different lectures online, different things like that, so that we understand the meaning as well. Alhamdulillah, for my parents, they really made it interesting for me and my siblings.
How so?
So for example, when we were young, around 7, 8 years old, we would go out in the mornings, my dad and my sisters, we would go out in the mornings and we would walk and memorize the Quran at the same time. That was our way of memorization.
As a family?
As a family, yeah.
Wait, okay, let's paint this picture. So at that time, it would be your mom, your dad, your older sister, and you. Anybody else walking with you?
Our younger sister.
And your younger sister. And you guys are walking down the street. And
around the neighborhood to a lake.
Around the neighborhood to a lake. This is a beautiful scene. And you're walking and reciting Quran as you're walking.
Yes, that was our way of memorizing the du'as in the prayer, different ayat, different surahs, yeah.
Wow. So how it worked? Like somebody would say something and then everybody would repeat?
Our dad would say it and then we would repeat. Exactly,
wow.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? Unfortunately, I used to be in the military and we used to go out for these jogs. And then somebody would say something and then we would all repeat it. But you guys are just doing this casual walking with the trees and the leaves and the water. And you said that made it interesting. That made it fun.
That really made it interesting as a child.
Wow.
Yeah. Going out in the morning right after Fajr and walking around maybe for half a mile, for an hour and a half, just reading and memorizing. That was our way.
Wow, that is a cool thing. And you think, do you try to, and now you're kind of you assist with the program at the Masjid. You're a teacher, right?
Yes.
So what do you do that kind of, do you try to make it interesting as well for the students that are with you?
I do try to make it interesting, yes. So before we start the surah, we discuss the meaning, and we go through it. Sometimes if it's a short surah, we'll go through the meaning basics, and then I'll ask them to memorize, and we'll sort of go back and forth and repeat after each other and see, just try to make it a little more engaging than the usual.
Right. This is cool stuff. Now, before the segment, you talked about one of your early teachers that, because we want to give a shout out to the teachers of the teachers, that got you on this track of the tajweed and the rules of pronunciation, was Sheikh Abdul Basit.
Yes.
He's one of the imams at the Adam Center. So can you tell us about some of your classes with him, and what are some of the principles and things that you learned from him?
Yeah, so it was actually in that class where I got my first color-coded Quran.
Oh, I love those things.
It was amazing. It was amazing, really, for me and my sister. So the rules were there at the bottom, written in Arabic, and we were taught what each color meant, I mean, the different rules.
Right.
And as a child, that was something, because it was colorful, I guess, it was really interesting.
Right,
and so I would go online to do extra work on QuranExplorer.com. And so I would listen.
QuranExplorer.com, there it is again. This is the second time that has been promoted in this show. There was another guy on the show, Abdullah Ahmed, and he was like, man, I don't know what I would have done without QuranExplorer.com. And here we are again, QuranExplorer.com. Check it out. So tell us.
Exactly. So it has a color-coded text as well. And it gives you a chance to listen to the reciter online and then repeat, then listen again and repeat. And that's exactly what I would sit in my room and do for like an hour or two.
Right.
I would listen, record myself, and then try to match it up to see how close I sounded to the show.
Who were some of your favorite reciters that you were listening to on there?
Definitely Mashari and Abu Bakr Shatri. And now it's Ayman Suwaid.
Okay. So you definitely recommend that. So again, going back to the class with Sheikh Abdul Basit, you were learning these things, and you got your first color-coded Quran. And was it just like opening up doors to things that you had been told verbally, but now you're seeing it in a different form?
Exactly. I feel like after learning the different tajweed rules, you sort of listen to the Quran in a different way, as if like, before there was a curtain and now it's being lifted and you're able to hear things differently. When you're listening to recitation. Oh, that's that rule. Okay, that's that rule. Right. Okay, he's doing it this way. Okay, this is the type of recitation. So that's...
Wow. Okay. Well, because I have still a lot to discuss with you and I don't want my time to run out, I want to take a break from the discussion, and I wanted to know if you could just share with us some verses from the Quran for the audience, for the world, for the studio audience. Would you mind? Okay. All right.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
Alhamdulillah. When I asked you earlier, I might ask you to recite again too, because I enjoyed that. When I was telling you about, a lot of the programs that I go to, it's the guy that gets put out front to recite the Quran, and the sister was reciting English. Your body language is like, yeah, you did, not really, but I was kind of reading into it. It's like, yeah, that is our reality. Do you have from studying with other female Quran students, has that, because I'm out of touch, right? I'm an old man. And I'm over here doing this thing, but as a female Quran student, how does that affect you? Do you think that the community should be giving more opportunities for the students of Quran who are female to be allowed to open up the fundraising dinners and the things like that? Do you have any say?
Definitely. I think that yes, although women are not the ones leading Tarawih prayers or leading the prayers, it is just as important for them to learn the tajweed rules, be able to recite properly, because, as you see right now in the Tahfidh al-Quran program, half or more than half of the teachers actually are female. So these are the women that are raising the future Hufad, male and female. So I think it's as important for them to learn to recite properly and with the proper tajweed and of course understanding.
Yeah, and as we said with your sister when she was on, that for a lot of people, for you to be inspired to do something or to be something, you need to see it. You need to see it in action. And what do you think is the power of seeing a muhajjiba or a female reciting Quran in front of 1,000 people or at this major event or major convention, that when they say, okay, we want to open up this program with a Quranic recitation from Sister Hamna or Sister Hasna or whoever, how do you think that looks to the 8-year-old in the audience that's looking up there and sees a woman like herself?
Definitely. Being the role model for these future Hufad, female Hufad, I think that's definitely something we need to implement more in our communities, Muslim communities. I know for me, I have a teacher right now. She's one of the teachers at the Tahfidh al-Quran program who actually agreed to teach me, and I'm so happy and I'm so blessed, alhamdulillah. She was the same way. She memorized, and then she started memorizing officially around the teenager years because she had stopped before that. She started memorizing again during her teenage years, like me, and quickly got back on track and finished again in 4 years. Because of that inspiration, I guess it came back to her at that age, and as it did for me. And now when I'm looking at her, I sort of see myself as well. If she can finish, then I can finish. So it's
do you have a target timeline? You want to finish in another 3 years, 2 years?
Typically, from what I've seen, I think 6 years would be a good time.
Okay.
5 years, 5 or 6 years.
Right. Okay.
So inshallah, if I can do that would be great.
I tell all Muslims out there who are making comments, because a lot of times, you go into, you come out of a Jummah and somebody has a comment about, we need to be doing this, community needs to be doing this, and you do a youth program and somebody wants to complain about the youth program, this and that. And I say, look, for people like me and most people in the Muslim community, you've been Muslim for 40 years, you've been Muslim for 50 years. How much Quran do you know, right? It's not that much. So be patient with other people as they're going through their journey to become a better person, have better character, to be this holistic person. And I feel like you're a holistic person. You not only are interested in the Quran, but you're also interested in IT.
Yes,
right?
I'm majoring in that as well.
You're majoring in IT?
Yes, in IT at Nova, yes.
So you are also in college already?
Yes.
What is going on here? I think we all need to be adopted by the Rizwan family, just get into college early, memorize the Quran, walk around the park, memorizing Quran. So why do you want to go into IT? What is that? Just, you were tinkering, you were programming. When did you have the time to do that?
I definitely think that when I was thinking of a major, I wanted something that would open doors for other people. And I feel like with an IT job, I can definitely start programs within the masjid, within the general community that can, inshallah, help benefit and help others get jobs.
And you enjoy it? Does it come easy to you, or is it like a real struggle?
I enjoy learning.
Yeah? MashaAllah. Okay, why don't you give us another little piece of some Quranic ayah before we close out the session. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. She's agreeing, alhamdulillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا إنا هديناه السبيل إما شاكرا وإما كفورا.
Alhamdulillah. Beautiful voice of a beautiful book of the Quran al-Kareem from the sister that comes from an amazing family. Thank you so much for agreeing. We're coming back. It's not over. You have to play the game. Your sister has to play the game. That's the rule of the show. You come on the show, you have to play the game. So we're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to bring the Rizwan sisters to be on Think About It with your host, Joshua Salaam, brought to you by pennyappealusa.org. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Water is an important part of life, and the difference between clean and dirty water is the difference between life and death. We know that the issue is not that there's a lack of clean water, but a lack of access to it. So we're on a mission to change that. Through Thirst Relief, we're building wells across Africa and Asia to provide millions with access to clean, safe, consumable water. The goal is simple: to provide clean water to every person who needs it. To irrigate gardens like these, horticultural gardens in Gambia. To make sure that no person ever has to drink dirty water ever again. So join us. Visit pennyappealusa.org/thirstrelief and donate today. Thank you.
Dun da da da! Assalamu alaikum. You are watching Think About It with Joshua Salaam, brought to you by pennyappealusa.org. We have the Rizwan sisters on stage. Why don't you guys introduce yourself?
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Hasna.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Hamna.
And Hasna and Hamna, they introduced themselves, but they forgot to say that today we're going to lose against Brother Joshua, because that's normally what happens when you go against the one and only. This is the synonym game. Some people call it the cinnamon game, but it's the synonym game. We just called it that. Who gave us that title? I think it was Yasmin Al-Hadi. She told us no, it was somebody else. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You guys know how to play the game. You've watched the show before.
Yes.
Okay, and you know how good I am at this game.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah. All right, here we go. We'll see. All right. I don't know how you guys are going to do it, if you guys are going to go back and forth to give me clues, or if you guys are going to agree. But you get a point if you get me to say that word. All right, I go first. Are you ready?
Yes.
Ready? Organism.
Mammal.
You know, you could have conferred with each other to help me out, you know. What did you say, mammal? And I said organism, and you said mammal. Okay. Well, no, that wasn't it. Your turn. What are you giving them good? Was that you? Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Crayons.
Crayons. Crayons. I would say color.
Yes.
Wow, very good. 1-0. Rizwan sisters are winning. Okay, I'm on my first word still. Organism did not help you, so let's try. Let's see. Organisms did not help you. Let's say protons. My producers are laughing at me, but this is going to work. This is going to work. What you got? What you got?
Biology.
Biology. No. Okay.
Sketch.
Sketch. This is your second word.
Second word.
Sketch. I'm going to say draw.
I think that counts.
It counts, yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait. What's the word? Drawing?
Drawing.
Okay, drawing. All right. 2-0. Rizwan sisters. All right, this is not looking good for the home team. Okay, so organism didn't help you. Protons didn't help you. Let's try the word of blood. Organism, protons, blood. Don't listen to the voices in your head. I know you hear voices in your head. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them.
Disease.
I told you not to listen to the voices in your head. Okay. All right. Your turn. You're in your third word, right?
Yes.
Goodness gracious. Okay.
Global warming.
That's 2 words. But anyway, global warming, I'm going to say climate. Okay. All right. I'm still in my first word. Organism. Did I say organism? Organism, blood, protons, white.
Cells.
Yes. Cell. Ding, ding, ding. Comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Here we go. I'm on my second word. Your turn. You're in your third word. What was your first clue to this word, by the way?
Global warming.
Global warming. Okay. Yes.
Recycle.
Recycle. Global warming. Recycle. Plastic? Okay. Number 2. Shepherd.
Shepherd? Flock?
Flock? Close. My goodness. Oh, that was so close. Okay. Your turn.
Oil spill.
Oil spill. You like these compound words, don't you? And the one-word game. Oil spill. Recycle. Global warming. Oil spill. Oil spill. Recycle. Global warming. We're going to say pollution.
Yes.
Ah. Very good. Okay. I said shepherd. She said flock. Now my clue is going to be flock.
Herd.
Herd. It's going to be a close game. Joshua Salaam is coming back on the Rizwan sisters. Okay, it's 2-3. You guys have 3. That last one was what did I get? Pollution. That was your third word, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you're on your 4th word. Let's go.
Family.
Family. Family. I would say family, clue, if that's a clue, if that's a synonym, let's say what's another word for family? Community. Okay. All right. Now, I was going to kind of bend the rules like you guys, but no. I will, let's say, gun.
Weapon?
Nope. Good guess. Good guess.
Compassion.
Compassion. This is another. Oh, so family.
And
compassion. ACH. No, that's not my guess. That's not my guess. Adam's Compassionate Healthcare Network. No. Let's say family and compassion. Love.
Close.
Close? Okay. My first clue was gun. Next clue is long. Alhamdulillah, these children are not familiar with weapons and guns, alhamdulillah. But if you were, the clues would be gun, long, or long, gun.
Rifle?
Yes! Cha-ching! Tie game! It's a tie, right? That was my 3rd word. You're still on your 4th word.
Fourth.
Okay. And your 2 clues that you gave me were?
Family.
And
compassion.
And compassion. Okay. So what's your 3rd clue?
Precedes bear.
Precedes bear.
Yeah.
Precedes bear. Oh. Child?
No.
Bearing?
Child.
Precedes bear. Who talks like that? Precedes bear. What precedes a bear? A cub? Okay. All right, my 4th word is, ooh. I don't know too many synonyms for this. Boat. I'm gonna lose on this word. I know it.
Ship?
That's another synonym, yes, but that's not the word. Okay, your turn.
Feeling.
Feeling precedes bear. I don't that clue doesn't help me at all, by the way. Feeling, family, compassion. Feeling, emotions.
precedes bear as in the word comes before bear in a certain circumstance.
A word that comes before bear. Don't listen to the words. I tell you, don't listen to those voices in your head. They mess you up. All right, my clue is, I said boat, you said ship. These are really good clues. Wow. You trying to look at my words?
No.
You just stretch it over there?
No.
What's up? I don't know what else to say other than, come on, producers, it's like not even fair, man. Unless you're an English teacher or ship, boat, something, a thing, like a ship and a boat type of thing.
Ship in a boat?
No, ship and a boat type of thing.
Yacht?
Ark?
No. I'm going to lose on this word, I know. Okay, your turn. Family comes before bear in certain statements.
Compassion.
Compassion, and there was another clue that you gave me.
Feeling.
Feeling. Okay, give me another clue.
Love? Oh, there you go.
TLC.
Care?
Yes.
Okay, so we've been in the rules now. For those who don't know, TLC is tender, loving care. I should have known that a sister saying comes before bear sometimes, it would be a Care Bear, which they had all these commercials for back in the day. I was not thinking Care Bear. But thank you, that is the word. All right, so in that case, there's no acronym that I know that has this word. Okay, but since, for the sake of time, starts with V. I'm bending the rules myself. Starts with V. Boat, ship, type of thing.
Vessel?
Starts with, huh?
Vessel?
Vessel! Ding, ding, ding. I had to come back. It's a tie game once again. Rizwan sisters on their final word. Go for it.
Ink.
Ink. Not INC, but INK.
INK.
Okay. Ink. Pen. Okay. For me to win this game, I gotta give you a one-word clue. This is gonna win it all. I'm gonna say, battle. Yeah. Okay, fine. Battle.
War?
Nope. Good guess.
Cartridge.
Ink cartridge. Ink cartridge. Toner.
No.
No? Ink cartridge. Okay. Prophetic. What are the two clues that I've given you?
Battle and prophetic.
Battle and prophetic.
Badr.
Huh?
Badr.
Badr. Close. All right. All right, so ink, cartridge. What's the next clue?
Machine.
Printer.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, I just lost to the Rizwan sisters by 1 point. I was so close. My word was trench. You were going to get there because you said Badr. We were getting there. Alhamdulillah. I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. You've been watching Think About It with Joshua Salaam. I'm your host. This is all brought to you by pennypillusa.org. Hope these sisters have inspired you guys to go out there and realize that age, don't look at age. A wise man told me that, this teenager thing, oh, I'm just a teenager. That's just a created idea. As Muslims, You know, you're a child and then you become an adult, and you can become an adult and a person with a wise mind at the age of 12, at the age of 13, 14. You can do big things and create new inventions and start new companies. Do it. You have examples that it can be done. We'll see you tomorrow. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This Deen TV video was made possible in part by Penny Appeal USA, Small Change, Big Difference, and by Recycle Processes Incorporated.